Welcome to the B2T show, where we empower Christian patriots with truth. This is Rick, your host. Here we are on Wednesday, August 26th. We've had 3 days of the Republican National Committee actual convention. How impressive has that been? Wow. Rick Grinnell's speech was my favorite one. You guys let me know what's your favorite one. We have a treat for us, a decode, a gene decode on COVFEFE or COVFEFE, however you pronounce that. But there's like, I guess, 6 different meanings of that. So people were thinking it was meaningless and it didn't mean anything, right? It's what the media tried to embarrass Trump on, and boy, we've got all kinds of meanings on it. I do want to go over one quick Q decode before we get into that, and then also just talk a little bit about some current events. Those of you who didn't miss the Rick Grinnell talk tonight, make sure you go check that out. That was my favorite one. You guys tell me again online who you think was the best speech for day number 3. There was awesome ones on number 1 and 2 as well. I see Green Bay, Wisconsin in the house. I see Australia in the house. I see California in the house. I'm going all the way back to the top to see. I see Express Jennifer here. Thank you so much for being here. As a moderator, Diane Sullivan is here as a moderator. Thank you so much. Let's see. I know Gene Cosensi's here, but I don't think he's going to be moderating home too much because he's going to be going over this awesome decode here in a second. We've got Flagstaff, Arizona, Michigan, Texas, North Carolina, Amarillo's in the house. Thank you so much, Devor from Australia. All right, let's get rolling because we have so much to cover, and we had to start late because of the convention. Wanted to show you this right here. This is the new drop that came today. And so those of you who didn't know that, there was a new Q post today. I'm going to refresh just to see if anything else came in. I don't think there was. Oops. That was not good. Looks like something just went wrong with that. I have a backup here. Here's the backup. All right. That was QAnon.pub is what I have now. QMap.pub looks like it just got knocked down, probably being knocked down by somebody else. There's nothing here yet. It says QMap.pub looks like it's down, but QAnon.pub is up. So let's look at it from here. Here we go. It says real Donald Trump tweet, and it's got a picture here of watching the DNC last night. I noticed their logo. Now, where have I seen that uneven star before? Interesting. This is the bafflement over here, right? And here is what we saw in the Democratic National Convention. You saw that on the floor. You saw that all over the place. It says hiding in plain sight. Donald Trump in his tweet emphasizes what? He emphasizes 2 Democratic caucus meetings removed under God from the Pledge of Allegiance. It sounded not only strange, but terrible. That's where they're coming from. So we'll get into this a little bit more. I did want to talk about the sponsor of this. This is real interesting. This is healthwithrick.com. And I think I had it up here, but it looks like I'm going to have to type it in again. But if you just type in healthwithrick.com, you will get to this page here. Did you know that after the age of 20, your body produces only about 10% less collagen each passing decade? The visible results ends up being the appearance of wrinkles, flaky skin, hair loss, and dirty nails as we age. That's why Ageless Multi-Collagen was created. Ageless Multi-Collagen gives you the 5 types of collagen you need from 4 premium sources in one complete protein mix. You'll enjoy powerful support for your body with results you can see and feel in a few short weeks. Get Ageless Multi-Collagen at 51% off and free shipping going to healthwithrick.com or by clicking the link down in the video description below. You'll see that right there. All right, let's get back to this decode. So again, just checking my favorite source here, qmap.pub. That is definitely down. So qanon.pub is where we are right now. Again, there is that. It was a 2020 with this little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pointed star. And interesting, isn't that how the uneven star is the bafflement? Gene might have a more detailed decode on that. If he is, he can jump on anytime he'd like. But this is the Donald Trump talking about them taking God, under God, out of the Pledge of Allegiance several times in several of the caucus meetings. purposely taken that out. Isn't that amazing how this is becoming so obvious? And that's what this is all about. Let's read this. It says, one party discusses God. One party discusses darkness. One party promotes God. One party eliminates God. Symbolism will be their downfall. The great deceivers. When was the last time you witnessed a Democratic Party leader being patriotic, exhibiting national pride, love of the country? When was the last time you witnessed a Democratic Party leader speak out against the riots, violence in the streets? When was the last time you witnessed a Democratic Party leader support those who took an oath to protect and defend? When was the last time you witnessed a Democratic Party leader support and call for unity across our nation? All assets deployed. Information warfare. Infiltration. Destruction of America. Have faith in humanity. Have faith in yourself. United we stand. God wins. Q. That is post number 4627. You can believe we have over 4,600 Q posts now. Today around 12:23. Interesting, isn't it? One thing I'll talk to you about is that Don Lemon and the news are all concerned because the race is tightening. They could talk about it. Even their fake polls with oversampling the Democrats, undersampling the Republicans, oversampling non-likely voters. All those fake polls they're even tightening. So it's like after the Democrats, they got no bump, and the Republican National Convention comes up, and there is a huge tightening in the race, and they are panicking. And so now they push Joe Biden into actually talking against the riot for the first time. For the first time, I think it was today. It was like Don Lemon and the CNN saying he needs to do this. So why? Because of the polls. Not because they don't agree with the violence, because that's their plan to create chaos, to try to create vote by mail, right? That's what this is all going on. Says QMAP has been taken down since the last drop. I guess they are truly over the target. With a cabal is panicking, says Susie Chard. Yep, interesting, isn't that? All right, so the couple of just quick things before we jump into the decode is... Here is I wanted to show you this. Here's an exclusive. Despite reports, FBI does not label QAnon group a terrorist threat. So all that fake news that we have, I'll forward this to you guys. You'll find this in Celeb Magazine. You have here is a pretty cool discussion on the August 26th discussion. You can hit right here and actually see this post I just went over. And I just love this comment on that post. It says, the fight between good and evil has ramped up. I'm so grateful to have found Q, this site, and the Donald.win, which is another site, and Gab. It keeps my hope alive that we really are seeing the good guys save our country. Yep, so that's exactly what's happening right now. So, hey, with that, we're going to flip over to the decode because there's a lot to unpack here with this awesome decode that Gene pulled together along with some help from some awesome, coordinators. Gene, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. So I'm going to throw the floor over to you.
Thank you, Rick, and God bless the B2T family, the Patriots, Donald Trump family, the Alliance. We're all behind you. We're all focused, and we all love you. Let's keep up the great work. And the fight against evil and getting rid of the satanic cabal. So most people will remember all of the insane press that from the mainstream media when Trump tweeted, despite the constant negative press, COVFEFE, which was on the 31st of May on 2017. And they said, oh, that doesn't mean anything because Google cleared everything all of the meanings off. You couldn't find it unless you went to a library and you really know how to do some serious research. So the first thing that COVFEFE means in modern Arabic, I stand up against the fallen ones. In other words, despite the constant negative press, I stand up against the fallen ones. In ancient Arabic word, meaning the word has the meaning, I will stand up against the ancient fallen ones. So despite the constant negative press, I will stand up against the ancient fallen ones. Secondly, the term COVFEFE also means the Communication over Various Feeds Electronically for Engagement Act, or the COVFEFE Act, which was a bill introduced in the United States House of Representatives on the 12th of June 2017 during the 115th United States Congress. There's a link to that, Rick. So you can see that's actually the congress.gov website. Not fake. That's real.
Interesting. Very interesting, Gene. All right.
And they did what is called fast tracking on this bill. So what fast tracking is you put the bill forth in Congress and Senate simultaneously so that it can clear both houses. If it clears one and clears the other, it goes directly to the president without having to go Congress to Senate, then to the president. So it's called fast track.
Yeah, so I'm just going to show everybody here. I'm blowing up a little bigger so you can see it on your screen. But right here, Bill, you'll see right here it says the Communication over Various Feeds Electronic for Engagement Act. COVFEFE. Isn't that interesting? This is really, really intriguing.
Yeah, interesting. They said it didn't mean anything, and here's the...
Yeah.
Yeah. And this went on for months with them, going on and on and on. I realized that's after his tweet, but this went on for many months. And here's this bill with COVFEFE in it. And they didn't, I mean, if you said something and then it shows up as a bill, you'd think they'd mention it. Obviously not, because they're utterly controlled.
Yeah.
Then additionally, there's the House Resolution 2881, Secure 5G and Beyond.
So I'm blowing that up larger as well. So Secure 5G Act and Beyond. Interesting. So that's just going to be related to this?
And that's making sure that foreign interests such as Huawei and Apple aren't involved with US 5G because it's not secure. They have, like we learned, they have the Dragon and all those other spy algorithms within iPhones that they sell and Apple products and et cetera. Then further legislation on the 12th of March, of 2020, we have President Donald Trump is committed to safeguarding America's vital communications networking and securing 5G. So this is a backup to the previous one.
I love these. March 12th, 2020. So this is pretty recent here, wasn't it?
That's this year.
Right. Reliable and safe networks. Signed new legislation to ensure that our nation's communication networks are protected from foreign adversaries. Let me know. I don't know if that's enough detail, Gene, or if you wanted to continue, or do you want me to go back to that?
So in backing that up, I realize that's a summary. The House Resolution Act for that same summary is right here, which is House Resolution 4998.
Okay. Secure and Trusted Communication Networks Act of 2019. And this goes over the summary of that. Okay.
And I would suggest that when people come up for voting for who's Congress, who's Senate, look at the people who are fathering these bills. That would be good people to be voting for.
Right.
So I have the wording for that bill here, which implementation suggested replacements, development of lists. The commission shall develop a list of suggested replacements of both physical and virtual communication equipment, application and management software, and service of categories of replacements of both physical and virtual communications equipment, application and management software and services. This is the tear out of Huawei and Apple 5G made in China. Then, as I said, the fast tracking is here, the Senate bill for that, to fast track it.
Wow, and this is stuff that the white hats are fast tracking, right?
Yeah, so you got a Congress, Senate simultaneously going through. So when it passes both houses, then all the president has to do is sign its law. The above legislation items are for the removal of 5G made by China through Huawei and Apple that run at 60 gigahertz. This is the reason this is important, is that's the resonant frequency of the oxygen atom, which causes the water molecules, two oxygen atoms, to spin, causing the water molecule to vibrate very fast and heat up. In the human body, this means two things. The lungs cannot absorb the water, and a person drowns in their own fluids. The water, secondly, the water literally superheats, causing the person to have their organs microwaved by the 5G to the point the organs explode, like what we saw in China, in Hubei province and Wuhan, and other countries using harmful 5G. The person drops dead suddenly and has blood coming from their mouth, nose, and ears. The good 5G created by the Q Alliance in the US has replaced this and does not work at 60 gigahertz. And you can read that there, Rick.
Despite the constant negative press, COVFEFE, and it got the 5G and President winking. For those of you on this is kind of a meme, those of you on the podcast, he was talking about 5G all along. In layman's terms, COVFEFE magnets essentially cleanse the impurities from the 5G and work on an iconic level to keep oxygen from being depleted, rendering the signals harmless. COVFEFE is an alloy of cobalt. Can't read that quite there.
COVFEFE is an alloy of cobalt, vanadium, and iron, creating a magnetic material with many ferrite, many technological advances for future, including space travel. So this ionic, what it does is it causes an ionic suspension that changes the 5G, as we'll see.
Wow.
From even the Chinese 5G.
Yeah, innovative technologies it was. That's awesome. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. So, in other words, there's still more meanings to COVFEFE.
But wait, there's still more meanings.
A simple solution to changing the Huawei and Apple 5G to a healthy and healing Tesla wave system. So there's a link here. COVFEFE stands for cobalt, vanadium, iron, and double bonded iron to each.
Wow. So this
goes
is
into technology and the explanation of the technology of how very simple it is to make a cobalt, vanadium, iron magnetic strip. It's a lot like a refrigerator magnet. Just slam it up against the 5G tower and it's altering it, the wave system.
interesting. So in those little towers that look like they look kind of evil, the 5G towers, right? But some of this is that in those towers now?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then I have a couple different links to the, and as well as the patent there.
Very cool. This one's taking a little bit to load, but we'll give it some time. Look at that. COVFEFE, iron, cobalt, and then vanadium alloy? Vanadium alloy. And that is real interesting. So this is a interesting site here.
Oh,
This is a full article on it, huh?
Yes. Goes into all the characteristics and description of the technology of the alloy.
Okay. Wow.
And then that's the U.S. patent for the iron, cobalt, vanadium. Description of the patent, United States Patent Office with the number of the patent, the date of the patent, the Canadian cobalt, vanadium alloy, the patent person, Carl P. Strobel, Natrona Heights, Pennsylvania signer, and it goes through all of the various things you would expect to see in an abstract of the disclosure, as they always do. So this novel and improved alloy containing cobalt, iron, vanadium, and controlled quantities of carbon. There's another link describing it there, Rick.
I love it when you guys give us links. You know me. So thank you so much, Gene, for this hard work, and for California Girl and anybody else that helped. The tweet that baffled the world. So a whole article on this as well, with a lot of things thinking about the cobalt, iron, vanadium. Really interesting. So did you find this stuff right away, Gene, or did it, or like to get to all six? Like you said, it kept expanding, right? Your
As
decode.
I kept researching what it meant, God opens doors for me, and He kept showing me more and more stuff. I was like, okay, one more. Oh, one more. Okay, one more.
So he's planning on having this a couple of weeks ago, but it kept going. No, there's more to research here.
So what is COVFEFE? What is the connection? Cobalt, 49%, iron, 49%, vanadium, 2%. Together makes a soft magnetic alloy with the highest flux density of any strip core alloy, making it ideal for use in tape cores, magnetic cores, and many innovative technologies. The magnets clean up the impurities from 5G, working on an ionic level. This keeps oxygen from being depleted, making it harmless. The high radio frequency radio waves, the MM wave, other linear formula names for this compound are FeCOV, COVFE, COVFEFE, VCOFE, and FeVCO. And there's the U.S. patent again on those various describing all of this. And it literally has all the charts and everything with the describing the wave fields and how it changes the fields and everything.
Wow, that's interesting. So this is a full, huge patent on it, then.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get bored and you want to read about these 22 attributes of this patent, actually there's more than that. It looks like it's continuing. This is a very detailed patent. It looks like, because we're not even halfway through it. You can see I've scrolled through quite a bit of this summary of the invention. That's interesting, but I'm sure you got what you want in the Word document, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the abstract is high strength, soft magnetic, ferrous, cobalt, vanadium alloy comprising in weight iron plus cobalt at 88%, and iron bonded to cobalt at 2%, and cobalt bonded to iron at 2%, or at least 30% cobalt, satisfying one of the following three conditions: 0.05 to 4% molybdenum as well, and 1.5 to 10% vanadium, and 2 iron cobalt, or cobalt iron, less than 1.3 or at least 4% vanadium, at least 7% vanadium. Additional alloy constituents include boron carbon, niobium, titanium, tungsten. W is tungsten. It's German is why they use it as a W is wolfram, and nickel can be present as well. Additionally, the Chinese knew this all along. So here I found this, which just was incredible.
Wow.
So the Chinese knew about these magnets and how it would destroy their 5G all along. And this link here goes into them describing how, not to have this used in the technology, these magnets or cores of this magnetic alloy or anything involving it around their 5G, and they're showing how it deprecates their wave system and diffuses the wave, and how it influences and interferes with the 60 gigahertz 5G wave that they wanted to develop.
Yeah, so they're going to be found guilty in the military tribunal, aren't they?
Yeah, so that's the Chinese verse, and then we have the English below that.
No, so that one there, and then is this like?
If you page on down,
I see. I see.
So the application, and that's the application filed by the Chinese in regards to that alloy again.
Right here.
Yeah.
Is that a link?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This
it
one
goes into preparation of the item, the alloy, and it explains again the abstract on the COVFEFE alloy again,
Wow.
explaining exactly what the U.S. patent said. So they knew all along about this, and they even go into how the casting's done and everything.
So that is interesting. So when we saw that in China, where that guy's just walking down and all of a sudden he just falls down dead, right? And that was a 5G 60 gigahertz thing.
Right, which is causing the essentially the organs to explode due to the water molecule is vibrating, and the oxygens are spinning so fast the water molecules are superheating.
Is that linked to COVID at all? Right, it was during the
we'll
COVID.
Get there.
Okay, all right. So this is. You want me to keep scrolling here? Okay.
The iron, cobalt, vanadium superalloy preparation method thereof. The present invention relates to a kind of iron, cobalt, vanadium superalloy characterized, as I read previously, the iron, cobalt, vanadium superalloy. The invention, preparation, and measure method thereof, saturation, induction, density, B values can reach a peak value of 2.5 tera, and a material under different magnetic field. Coercivity is low, eddy current is low, the good toughness of material is easy to the converted products lumber recovery. Page, please, Rick. And yields in later stage to improve 40% simultaneously the exploitation of technology for heating. Processing is easy to operating personnel to operate the saturation magnetic sense intensity values. A product can be made to be tended towards stability and peak value. All other performances are also highly stable. Description of the alloy again, technical field. The present invention relates to material fields, like I was describing earlier with the 60 gigahertz 5G field, more particularly to metal material, specifically refers to a kind of iron, cobalt, vanadium superalloy and its preparation method. The background technology is it has a good magnetic properties, iron, cobalt, vanadium superalloy, because saturation induction density is good and has the same efficiency in a motor. The motor volume thereby can be substantially reduced when made with this electromagnetic compound. Additionally, it has the big suction combining force. Its specific use can be produced under same sectional areas. The transformers in electrical equipment is mainly used as motor, telephone set diaphragms, the embedding iron of high-speed printers, switched receiver coils, memory iron cores, electromagnetic cartridges, relays, transducers. Also does the aviation of small volume space flight, electrical appliance equipments, etc. Because its Curie point is a temperature of 980 degrees centigrade, it can enable the alloying of other soft magnetic materials demagnetized completely compared with when worked under high temperature, while still keeping good magnetic stability. Due to this, there is a big magnetostriction coefficient, which makes it extremely suitable to magnetostriction transducing devices. Output energy is high, output efficiency is also high, and it can be used as an iron core in high temperature magnetic elements for the aerospace industry, nuclear power systems, electro equipment, nuclear control systems. However, it is important to note that the alloy rate is low, 0.27 microohms per meter. So it should be used in high frequency. Should not be used in high frequency. Notice that?
Right.
Should not be used. No, this means it's disharmonic. It destroys the negative and has negative properties to the high harmonic, meaning 60 gigahertz of the 5G. This is right out of the patent for the Chinese, that don't use it in high frequency applications because it destroys them. Oh, like when I read that, I'm like, aha, got ya.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So actually, but the 5G works, but it keeps the damage and stuff from.
Yeah, you can use the Huawei Apple, slap this little magnet on it, and it's all safe. It's like, oh my goodness, how simple can you be?
Wow, so they didn't want us to know. That's why they're not talking about this, right?
Yeah, And that's the first solution, would be to rip out their stuff. The second solution is just put that on it. But the final solution for communication is 6G, which is known as the Zeno effect.
Yeah.
So what's the Zeno effect? Yes, Rick?
No, I was just saying that Trump said that, enjoy your 5G and enjoy even 6G in one of his tweets way back last year, right? Or maybe 2 years ago.
So he's way ahead of the game, as always.
Yeah.
So sources have said that 6G will use the Zeno effect. This technology uses no signal between units wanting information transfer. Information exchange is instead done with an amazing discovery. When measuring a quantum crystal, it changes the crystal. The same type of crystal, type, size, quantum, the quantum structure of the crystal, if it's a quantum crystal, will be altered exactly the same. And that can be read out of a crystal at any other location, instantaneously, no matter the distance, without any signal between the information. There is no signal transformation between the origination point and any other point, such the information can be read into a crystal at one location and appear instantly at any other location that has the same quantum crystal matrix.
Wow.
This has already been done with the picture registered into a digital format. And ideally, this will be used for the new 6G.
Wow. And so that whole thing about the crystal property being the same anywhere else in the universe as the same crystal property, is that quantum? That's
quantum.
That's quantum. Wow.
So it's called the quantum Zeno effect, or QZE.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum Zeno effect. Yes, Rick?
No, I'm sorry. I was going. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Quantum Zeno effect is the inhibition of transitions between quantum states by frequent measurements of the state. The inhibition arises because the measurement causes a collapse, reduction of the wave function. It's called collapsing the wave function. The minimum time for this collapse process is shown to be inversely proportional. And you can see from the link there, they go into it there. It's a Wikipedia link. And they go into explaining this, and they actually give you all of the coefficients and describe the measurement and how it freezes and collapses the quantum wave function.
Wow, it's kind of interesting because I was reading about the IBM quantum computer, and they were saying they didn't even have anything stable. So there's a lot of this technology, people just don't have access to some of the newer stuff, obviously, that the deep state does, or the white hats
Correct.
now have.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum Zeno effect, also known as the Turing paradox, is a feature of the quantum mechanical systems allowing a particle's time evolution to be arrested by measuring it frequently enough with respect to chosen measurements, to some chosen measurement setting. Sometimes this effect is interpreted as a system cannot change while you are watching it. One can freeze the evolution of a system by measuring it frequently enough in its known initial state. The meaning of the term has since expanded, leading to a more technical definition in which time evolution can be suppressed, not only by measurement. The quantum Zeno effect is the suppression of unitary time evolution in quantum systems provided by a variety of sources: measurement, interactions with the environment, stochastic fields, among other factors. As an outgrowth of study of the quantum Zeno effect, it has become clear that applying a series of sufficiently strong and fast pulses with appropriate symmetry can also decouple a system from its decohering environment. The name comes from the Zeno's arrow paradox, which states that because an arrow in flight is not seen to move during any single instant, it cannot possibly be moving at all. That's why they call it a paradox.
Yeah.
It's like watching paint dry. The longer you watch, or waiting for a pot to boil, the longer you watch it, the less likely it's ever to happen. The first rigorous and general derivation of the quantum Zeno effect was presented in 1974 by Digasparis, Fonda, and Gherardi, although it had previously been described by Alan Turing. The comparison with Zeno's paradox is due to a 1977 article by George Sudarshan and by Dhyanath Misra. According to the reduction postulate, each measurement causes the wave function to collapse to an eigenstate. And you can click on that, Rick.
Oh, okay.
So for those who want to understand eigenstate, I thought this is really fascinating to me. And it's you get to see all of the various collapsing of the wave function in a hydrogen wave function system. So for those that have the physics knowledge, I invite you to go and read this and look through this article. It's really excellent.
Oh, okay. So it goes quite a while down to
As
the whole
well
thing.
as the calculus and the integral functions are in here. And so it's really fascinating. And all the mathematics and everything's in here describing the quantum systems.
This is why they made me take calculus in high school.
It's describing the spin state and everything. It's beautifully done.
Uh-huh.
Going into the integer spin relationships, etc. So the eigenstate of the measurement basis. In this context of this effect, an observation can simply be the absorption of a particle without the need of an observer in any conventional sense. However, there is controversy over the interpretation of the effect, sometimes referred as the measurement problem, in traversing the interference between microscopic and macroscopic objects. Another crucial problem related to the effect is strictly connected to the time-energy interdeterminacy, part of the interdeterminacy principle. If one wants to make the measurement process more and more frequent, one has to correspondingly decrease the time duration of the measurement itself. But the request that the measurement lasts only a very short time implies that the energy spread of the state in which reduction occurs becomes increasingly large. However, the deviations from the exponential law for small times is crucially related to the inverse of the energy spread, so that the region in which the deviations are appreciable shrinks when one makes the measurement process duration shorter and shorter. So the quicker you make this, the less that is a problem. In explicit evaluation of these two competing requests shows that it is inappropriate, without taking into account the basic fact, to deal with the actual occurrence and emergence of Zeno's effect. We theoretically describe the quantum Zeno effect in a spin-photon interface represented by a charged quantum dot in a micropillar cavity. The electron spin in this system entangles with the polarization of the transmitted photons, and their continuous detection leads to the slowing of the electron spin. In other words, starting to collapse the wave function. Spin precession in the external magnetic field and induces the spin relaxation. We obtain a microscopic expression for the spin measurement rate and calculate the second and fourth order correlation functions of the spin noise, which evidence the change of the spin statistics due to the quantum Zeno effect. We demonstrate that the quantum limit for the spin measurement can be reached for any probe frequency using the homodyne non-demolition spin measurement, which maximizes the rate of the quantum information gained.
Wow. So can you put that into the third grader?
So what's the third grade?
Okay, let's go down to kindergarten then. But seriously, summarizing that whole part about the Zeno effect.
So what it's doing is, if you can read it in quick enough, the information, it'll collapse the wave function to precisely what you want to read in, and it'll then evidence that out at any other quantum crystal matrix with that exact same quantum crystal matrix representation at any other point in creation.
Yeah, and that's what I guess it summarizes at first, right? A crystal here with the exact same makeup. And it could be literally on the other side of the Earth, or even on the moon, or some other part of the galaxy, and without even waves going between it, it'll replicate over at the other crystal, correct?
Right. To understand collapsing the wave function, people go back and research the double slit experiment, as well as the first particle bombardment of the proton, in which the exotic particles that came off changed their behavior when they were being observed. But when they're not being observed, they always had a static function of their spin and their trajectory.
Okay, and so this has something to do with this hydrogen wave function as well?
Yeah, and it's also known as the Brownian wave motion. Cannot be predicted, but when you have an expectation of what you're predicting, then the expectation is then measured.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Whew. But wait, there's even more meaning to COVFEFE. So that was that whole crystal quantum stuff was potential 6G. That was one, right, that we just finished. Is that correct? But that's not the. But we're not sure if that's 6G, or is it, are you pretty?
That's currently what I'm being told.
Okay.
From yep.
Okay. Interesting. Awesome.
And by the way, that actually does tie. People are in the chat. I notice are talking about does it have tied to quantum financial system? The quantum collapsing the wave function has to do also that when you're really reading it in at any point, the quantum at any one point in location in space time is absolutely unique. Such that when you look, for example, every snowflake is unique, every flower is unique, every person is unique, even in parallel universes, they're not the same. Every grain of sand is unique, every single item is unique. So if you're printing out, for example, in a mint gold coins from a vat of gold, every coin will have a unique quantum signature. So if you have a system that's measuring that quantum as those coins are coming out, it can record that quantum so that that can never be duplicated and can never be hacked, because it's literally, the effect of God creating every single thing in the universe, which is who creates everything. You can't hack God. And so the voting system is now that same way. When we get the vote, is the quantum financial system is also the voting will be tied to that. So if you go register to vote at a certain location and you do your thumbprint, for example, or they register you checking in, that has a unique quantum signature. So even if you fake your ID and you put on a mask and you go to another location, it will notice. A quantum computer can then compare your quantum to the previous. It'll have previous imprint quantums, and it'll say you've already voted, and it won't allow you to vote again.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It sounds like something that's 10 years away, but you're thinking that might be real
that's
now.
Already done. So the quantum financial system is not a debtless system. It's not actually blockchain. It's blockchain, if you know how, can be hacked. But this can't be hacked. It's similar to blockchain, but way more advanced.
Yeah, but blockchain. What I've read, you have to have at least 50% of all the coins in order to, or 50% of all the decentralized computers. So most people think it's almost unhackable. But you're saying you're saying there's a back door somewhere in it, right?
At 52%, you can hack the system.
Yeah, exactly. Once you get to 52%.
But at this 100% of the quantum signatures, you still can't hack it because you can't reduplicate any place in space time. Is never identical to that place that when it first formed.
All right, but these crystals somehow are identical, correct?
No, they're similar. They're very, very close. They're the same quantum matrix system, but again, they're not absolutely identical. What's identical is the expectation of what you're reading into the crystal, and then a crystal that has the same quantum matrix,
okay.
Nearly, like has the same molecular and spin ratios and all of that, will then read out the expectation at any other location.
Okay, so I'm going to do an experiment here real quick with the live audience. So what level is Gene talking at? Kindergarten, 3rd grade, 6th grade, college, or higher? So high school, college, or higher. Just put what you think, what grade is Gene talking at right now for all of you out there. It'd be interesting to see what answers we get. But go ahead, Gene, on 5G and the wall while we're waiting for those results.
Yep. So the next part of what COVFEFE means is regarding the wall and 5G. So when Trump first started building the wall, he made a tweet, and I forgot to put this one on, unfortunately, but that they had electrified it.
They said something about electrification.
The media went absolutely nuts.
Who went nuts?
The mainstream media saying that he's going to electrocute everybody coming across the border.
So here's everybody saying high school, college, way over my head. Sandy says preschool.
Very Sandy, we're on the same page.
She's smart. Other people saying genius, quantum. So higher Tesla wall. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Gene. Funny comments out there though.
Yeah. So he had said what actually they have done is in the concrete footer that these big, huge metal poles are put in. They're actually like giant tuning forks. And if people remember, shortly after the wall was being built, there were huge 5G transformer systems blowing up as far down as Brazil and Rio de Janeiro, in Argentina, in various locations, all the way up into Chicago and New York.
Yeah, those blue transformers we saw sometimes, right? Just all of a sudden going all over the place. And you're saying that was because of the wall's tuning fork, basically.
Yeah, it's putting out that disharmonic parasitic wave to the bad 5G.
Wow. So it could have been destroying 5G that was the Huawei 5G, right?
Exactly. So the transducers are on the bottom of the wall in the concrete footer. They put out a disharmonic wave to the 5G 60 gigahertz wave so that it destroys it. And that's why you remember those giant blue balls like in Chicago, New York, Rio de Janeiro, and Brazil. Also, the transducers simultaneously detect the footfall movements of anyone within 50 feet and relay that data to ICE agent stations. They also monitor the biorhythms to detect how many people and what type of people are there. As Trump said, illegal aliens of all dimensions. And there's that tweet.
Of all dimensions. That is really interesting, isn't that?
Yep. Like all dimensions, huh? Okay. And densities too, probably, right?
Here he is. So Donald J. Trump, this is on February 3rd, 2019, says, with caravans marching through Mexico and toward our country, Republicans must be prepared to do whatever is necessary for strong border security. Dems do nothing. If there's no wall, there's no security. Human trafficking, drugs, and criminals of all dimensions keep out. Wow. Just reminds me of your clearing prayer where you talk about all levels, densities, dimensions, and locations. There it is.
Exactly. There's a reason I say that.
There's a reason there's a reason there's a dimensions in his tweet way back in February 3rd, 2019. If I had to go back there and look at this a little bit, so these also transducers simultaneously detect the footfalls. What is that, Gene?
So when you're walking, even very quiet walking people like Shaolin, they still put a vibration into the earth. And so a very powerful transducer, a very sensitive transducer, can, like in submarines have those, where they can pick up those vibrations.
Yeah, so that's kind of some of your training in the sonar world, right? When you were a sonar technician in a submarine.
Yep.
Right. Interesting. Oh, I guess you've copied it in here too. All dimensions. Yep. Wow. Okay, so that one was all about the wall and destroying 5G with waves. And so the waves not only helped the United States, it's helping Mexico and South America, you're saying as well, right?
The entire North and South American continent.
Wow. That is just incredible. And I know they're doing 500 miles, but obviously it became pretty effective early on, right?
Yeah, because it resonates through the entire structure of the continent. It's what Tesla was actually going to do, why he used 60 hertz. Because it's double the resonant frequency of Earth, he was going to give free energy based on a similar type of idea. This is the one that when I stumbled on this made my jaw drop. That long-term usage of adrenochrome causes destruction of mitochondria in the kidneys, which causes a buildup of the iron ion, Fe2 positive, or Fe. This buildup causes toxemia, resulting in anaphylactic shock that causes the muscles to convulse, like seen with both Hillary and Merkel.
All right.
And so I found this link, adrenochrome effects on humans from therapists. adrenochrome effects on humans. The truth is that celebrity deaths caused by the Illuminati is alarming and quite high. Possible side effects of HGH, that's a term for adrenochrome use includes nerve, muscle, or joint pain, because humans did not evolve or were not created, in my opinion, such as an iron extracting mechanism for drinking blood, and drinking blood can kill us. Animal studies, due to the relative insensitivity, the endpoints have been measured. Effects of iron and ascorbate on cyclosporin induce oxidative damage of the kidney mitochondria and microsomes. This article talks about how long-term exposure of adrenochrome causes the mitochondria in the kidneys to be unable to metabolize certain compounds. It turns out that one of these is hydrochloroquine.
Woo!
Yep. So guess what? Meaning that if you have had long-term adrenochrome usage and you contract COVID-19, any subsequent treatment by HCQ can be lethal.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going, no HCQ, no, we don't want that for a reason.
There's multiple reasons they don't like hydroxychloroquine, right?
Could be lethal to them. That's why I was remembering back when they started the chemtrailing of the HCQ, and a lot of famous people left the country for a while. I'm like, it's pretty interesting. Something makes you go, So adrenochrome long-term usage causes toxic shock, anaphylactic shock, due to buildup in the body of ferrous iron positive 2 ion. And that's, remember the rabbit? That is the structure for adrenochrome.
Wow, that's the white rabbit and all that crap they do.
So here's a Google link on that article.
So, effect of iron as a sorbate on, what is that?
Cyclosporin-induced oxidative damage of kidney mitochondria and microsomes.
Wow.
So I just kind of summarized it for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but if you'd like to read the entire article, I put the link for you here.
Thank you so much, Gene.
Adrenochrome is the luciferian drug of choice, harvested from the human body, specifically kiddos and infants.
Yeah, isn't the link to the pineal gland as well during the adrenochrome?
That's what develops it.
As they torture them, the adrenochrome induced blood, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So here's, I thought that, we've all seen this, I'm sure, but just to reiterate, what Trump with cutting out the human trafficking, you think maybe their supplies are getting thin?
Wow, look at the changes. That's a pretty dramatic one with Ellen, right?
Yeah, Ellen looks pretty bad there. So's Johnny.
Yeah.
Like they had chemotherapy. It's like, oh my goodness.
Got that there again, yeah. Amazing.
So this, for as far as I'm concerned, Luke 17:2, in regards to this, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he cast into the sea than that he should offend one of these little ones.
Yeah. Whew. That's going to be pretty heavy judgment on him, isn't it?
Yeah. Could there be yet another meaning to COVFEFE? Could it be tied to COVID?
Wow. So I was asking a leading question, wasn't I?
Yes. Do these two acronyms sound strangely the same? Is that a coincidence? Or is it a coincidence? Could it really mean COVID? Could that equal covert identification? Could COVFEFE mean covert, find, extract, or forced elimination / eradication? Is this what it is actually occurring now by covert means? Is the deep state being covertly found and extracted, and our children and dumbs being rescued? Are those that are found doing terrible things to children and these dumbs being eliminated if they don't surrender?
Hmm. That is an interesting question. COVID equals covert identification. Interesting. Covert, find, extract, or forced elimination, eradication. That's interesting. So this is number 6, right? Is that right? Is that correct?
Yep.
Wow, Gene. Fantastic.
I don't think it's an accident it's 6.
Yeah.
Because what is 6? It's the beast.
Mm-hmm.
And that's beastly what they're doing.
That is.
It makes me think of Revelation 18:21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, "Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all," like these domes.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 John 4:16, and we have known and believed the love that God hath to us. God is love, and he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in him. Joshua 1:9, have I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whatsoever thou goest. Deuteronomy 31:6, be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, or be afraid of them, for the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee nor forsake thee.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
I say that because we have with what's happening with educating liberals and Neon Revolt. You either focus on a timeline where Trump is on the side of humanity, or you focus on one where he is not. Either focus will determine your future timeline. You go where you focus. Page up, Rick. And this is from Albert Einstein. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics.
Woo. That's kind of a scary thought there, isn't it? That's why they have so many psyops out there right now, right?
The first option is heavenly. The second option is the New World Order of hell on earth ruled by Satan. The choice is yours. Follow gloom and destruction and fear, and read everything in doubt and fear, and you get option 2. The one true God allows for all experiences and choices. Your experiences are yours alone, and those that follow that choice with you. All of humanity was given the power to create and move mountains, as we were created in the image of God. And with this, we were given the power to create. As it says in Matthew 17:20, he replied, because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. In other words, through our faith in the one God, we can move mountains just by our faith. James 3:9, with the tongue we raise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse human beings who have been made in God's likeness. Isaiah 35:4, say to those with fearful hearts, be strong, do not fear. Your God will come. He will come with vengeance. With retribution, he will come to save you. And vengeance upon those that are doing this with this COVFEFE. We're seeing the vengeance of the one God of all creation brought down on Satan's minions.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I think that's the end of it, isn't it? Wow. Beautifully, beautifully done, Gene. So I think we're good there. So I'm coming over here and showing your screen. And I'm going to switch to this full view. Just one second. All right, so we have Merkel here.
Yep.
This is one of them where she just starts shaking, right?
Yep.
Now her whole hands are shaking there.
You can see her clothes shaking too. She's trying to hold herself too.
Wow. That is pretty bad.
Yeah.
She's having a hard time holding still, isn't she?
That's got to be pretty uncomfortable. That can't feel good.
Yeah. And that's what you were calling stage 3, I remember, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Cruise disease stage 3.
You can also see her. She's having part of it is Tourette's syndrome. You can see her making words too.
Yeah.
That's really bad now.
Yeah, because the other person's not shaking at all, right to her right. You can just tell it's not the camera.
Nobody in the line's shaking. It can't be. It's cold.
Yeah. Nobody else is shaking.
So that's that one.
You are so indefatigable. I do admire that about you, Dan. I really do. I really do. It was great. It was great. I mean, it was a wonderful, meaningful endorsement in every way, and I was very proud of it. You guys have got to try the cold chai. It is delicious.
Good cover. Good recovery.
Yeah, acting like it's the cold drink.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's a cold drink that did that. Sure it was.
Here in the journalism business, we have an acronym called NOD, which stands for News a Day, or for short, NOD. And today, look at that. Wow, she is nodding up the storm. Mark, my question for you is whether when Hillary was not doing that, i.e. nodding, when she was actually speaking, did she actually say anything that matters in terms of, like winning the election?
Look at her keyboard. This is not doctored video. We didn't slow it down. This is a real life nods, almost a minute's worth and not a very long event. 2 things she did today that I think are going to have huge significance for her. She distanced herself from the Obama economy more than she almost ever has. And she distanced herself a little bit from the Affordable Care Act, saying it needs to be changed. Neither of these are hugely surprising positions or new positions, but the devil's going to be in the details. I think she's going to have a heck of a problem when she faces questions sustaining how do you distance from the Obama economy and the Affordable Care Act without looking disloyal or alienating Democrats.
Well, she did say.
And so, that is where the nerves are being, the potassium to stop the nerve firing is not being released due to being blocked by the iron toxemia. And so the muscles are firing over and over and over. So she's just nodding again and again and again.
Mm-hmm. And
So there we go.
And that's the last one. That's the last one that you had, right? Okay, great,
Yes, sir.
great. Wow, thank you so much for the work you guys did. I imagine in this one you did pretty much a lot of many hours, right, to go research that and find that.
Girl gave me the links and the tweets, and I
Okay.
put the rest together myself.
You guys are just awesome, and one thing I did want to do is just let you guys know a little bit about. We're going to be talking about this in more detail backstage here in just a bit. For those of you who like to go deeper with Gene, and there's kind of 2 levels of that, and I wanted to make sure everybody understood that real quickly before we to have a prayer to close out here. I like to go a little bit longer when we have Gene here because it's awesome to have time with him. But if you just go to blessed2teach.com, there's a couple things I want to show you here. So blessed2teach.com. This is where you'll get the show notes. So everything we've shown you, including this decode, will be available tomorrow morning in your email. So just come here and sign up, and you will get that. You'll get the video that you'll be able to replay with all the show notes right underneath it. So it's a really nice way that my web team has put this together. So the whole new website again. If you once you log into backstage, you come here. But to actually go see if you want to join or not, this is where you'd go. and he would come here, and it's pretty simple. You would just hit join Rick backstage. And obviously, I should probably put join Gene and Rick, because Gene's on their backstage more than I am, since I have a job full time, and he'll be up late tonight while I'm sleeping, talking to everybody. But there's also a searchy platform, a great red-pilled community back here, a Facebook type functionality of a community, and it's real interesting because a lot of the backstage people are brilliant. Like I think it was Monday, we had several Messianic Jews going over the holidays and all the Jewish meaning of different of the calendar, etc. So really cool type of community that we're getting a lot of detail of red-pilled people from all kinds of backgrounds. So again, to hit join Rick, and you'll be able to join either the monthly or the yearly, and then you'll also be able to upgrade if you want an extra 2-hour course with Gene every month. Last time it was a 4 or 5 hour course. If that's an extra one, it's called Gene Unleashed. So go join that as well. This is also this course I have coming up, the Sharing Truth with Impact. I've had to push that back. You'll get an email on that based upon a heavy project at work and just Labor Day in the way. So we're going to be launching that right after Labor Day. You can see what's going on there. What people ask when I'm going live all the time, it's the About tab right here. You can also contact us and send an email to me right here. At the bottom is where the PayPal and Patreon are, as well as that same this is another way to email me, and the P.O. box if anybody needs to mail something. So there's a lot of stuff here that I want you to just make sure you understand. The shows are available here as well, but the most important thing is to get the source information with the show notes, including this decode will be available tomorrow morning for you. With that, Gene, any last comments before we pray?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Rick. God bless everyone. My last comment.
All right, good. And maybe I'll pull it down here and just read another scripture and then pray. Because this is so important. I talk about this all the time. The red-pilled Christian patriots, the army of God, the remnant. You guys are many of those. And it's important that we do focus on Trump winning this election and the faith that God is going to pull us through that. That is where our faith and the whole moving mountains, we can make this happen, right? God wants us to join him in what he's doing. And Isaiah 35:4 says, "Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong, do not fear. Your God will come. He will come with vengeance, with divine retribution. He will come to save you." We have a great God. This God is our refuge. So, Gene, do you want to say a prayer, and I'll wrap it up?
Yes, in the name of the one true God of all creation and his divine holy Son, only Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, we ask that Trump and the alliance and all of those fighting beneath our feet and above our heads and on this earth prevail against the satanic evil cabal and free the children, that they might have full lives, children, grandchildren, and that this war shall come to an end soon, and that all of us shall find the Jasara Nasara, and the true economics of the world shall be released in the hands of the Alliance and the Patriots, so that all may be redeemed and all come to fruition in the name of the one true God of all creation. Let it, as it is done in heaven, let it be done on earth, and as said, now sealed for all time.
All right, thank you, Lord. And I just want to lift up Gene right now and to say thank you for his choice to be here, his choice to be here on earth, actually, his choice to actually be here on these broadcasts, and his choice to serve us as a community. Thank you for that, Lord. And may you just continue to give him massive wisdom, and may you allow us to continue to be united in understanding the truth of not only everything he knows, but also reconciling all that back to the Bible. It's a wonderful journey that I'm on with Gene, and it's just such a privilege to be on that with him. Lord, I just pray for everybody to listen to my voice now, whether you're backstage or you're on the YouTube or you're on the podcast, Lord. I just ask that you'll impart the will you have for them, like we studied in the last episode. It is so important that you can know the pleasing, perfect will of the Lord. And wow, And that just means you just need to renew your mind, as the Bible clearly tells us to do. But we can't please God without faith. Remember that. So let's keep the faith as we are praying for what's going to happen on November 3rd, what's going to happen with the rescuing of the children, what's going to happen with the restoring of our republic and the worldwide harvest that we look forward to being part of. Lord, allow us to know how you can use each and every one of us. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, with that, thank you so much again, Gene. And we look forward to, I know you have some other ideas about decodes that might be unleashed or backstage, but we'll get, I know there's some more work that's being done on different parts of the world as well with the underground bases. Any thoughts on timing there? Is it a couple months away, or I know that's a lot of work to do in some of these areas?
Yeah, it's more on the dumbs. I'm actually could redo the entire U.S. I've got that one done, but the stuff for Europe and the rest of the world is so complicated that it's going to take me probably till the end of next month to get the one for Europe done. Wow.
Okay. And so maybe we'll sneak in a U.S. update if it's not too much of work for you.
Yeah.
We'll
that's already completely done, and to sneak that in would be probably 5-6 parts because it's a massive amount of dose now. And information and all kinds of links and stuff. So
yeah, right. I think weren't we on like part 19 or something like that? So we'll just go from 20 to 24. If you have that energy, I know we'd love to hear from you on it.
Yeah,
so.
Might be a plan to do one a week for 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay, all right. We'll look at doing that. Maybe we'll have a Thursday series starting next week or something like that. So, all right. Thank you so much again, and God bless you guys. And we will catch you guys next time. If you have a backstage pass, make sure you're there to talk to me and Gene. We'll talk to you soon. God bless you. You've just listened to the Blessed Teach Show. You're now empowered with the truth. Don't miss the edited short B2T clips on a new channel called B2T Clips. A big thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and PayPal. You are truly appreciated. For the links to these sites, as well as links for show notes, Backstage with Blessed to Teach, training courses, and more, visit blessedtoteach.com. That's blessed with the number 2, teach.com. God bless, and be sure to go empower others with the truth.